It's hi guys. Oh, look at that head turn. Hi guys. Hi. Say hi, YouTube. I'm Tosh. Oh, he'll sit still if I do this. Hi guys. Tosh. Hi guys. Hi guys. There's a good one. Hi guys. It's me, obviously, and Tosh. How are you guys doing? Okay, sorry it took 6 weeks plus to post a second video. I'm gonna work on that. It's a trial and error thing, but I am gonna work on that. I've been doing good though. I sound a little sick. I'm a little under the weather. Public apology to all Scorpios in my life, because I realize I have a lot of friends who are born on like 11/11, and I go out for their birthday and it's like right when the daylight savings time happens. So my little body is ready to be home and in bed, but I push through on those 11/11 birthdays. And then I'm always sick for the birthdays the following weekend, and everyone, all my Scorpio babies have birthdays in November. So sorry to you guys, but yeah, it's not personal. I just always get, I feel like I'm always getting sick. And it's my fault. It's usually from pushing myself or like being a little too stressed out. I do a bad job about giving myself breaks. So this is like totally self-inflicted. But hi guys, too much information. I hope you're doing well. Can't believe it's almost effing Thanksgiving next week. Or this week. Oh my God, this week. That's so close. Anyway, I'm gonna not bore you with too many details because I'm gonna film a quicker video and a more recent video. So when I post this one, my goal is to get another one up fast, within the week. Fingers crossed. Oh, as you can see, I have guitar player nails now. No more fake nails until I can play that guitar. So anyway, in this next video, I'm gonna tell you all about why I'm not dating right now. And I honored my commitment. I didn't date, and I was really good about not dating, and I'll tell you why I'm not dating in the video. But even when I like met new hot guys like on Halloween, I was like, no, don't text them, don't think about these guys. And so I'm really like, I'm not just being single, I'm being like hardcore single. Like I don't really want to be looking. Wait, hold on, bang adjustment. I kind of like this messy hair. So anyway, I did that, and I've been in, I sound crazy because I'm still running a fever, but I've been doing guitar lessons for 6 weeks. So that's been going well. And yeah, so I'm gonna tell you all about why I'm not dating and kind of what I'm thinking about dating it right now. And at the end of the YouTube video, I do some of the books that I've read this year. If you're like me, toward the end of the year, I really like to get more books finished. It's my idea of a dream day is truly being somewhere and like reading books cover to cover if I could, and doing nothing else. And at the end of the year, I know it shouldn't be like, I shouldn't be reading for sport, but I do like to hit a quota and say I read so and so many books a year, because I'm just a weird individual, and I like everything I do it, you know, with a little ambition behind it. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know. Wow, that was an off-camera cough. Let me know what you want to see from me in the future. I'm gonna be working on giving you videos faster than 6 weeks at a time. Forgive me for this. We're just getting started, okay? Forgive me for my little it's like revving an engine. One day we're gonna get the engine running, and I'm working on that. But anyway, enjoy the video. Love you. Bye. Another day of wondering why I look so different in the mirror versus flipped. Hello, welcome to my room. Again. Here we are back to the mirror reflection video. I tried to flip this camera around and see the person that I was, and like I just don't agree with that. That's who I am. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I like try to back away, I try to be close. I just don't look, it's just not giving me. I don't know how to explain it. So let me see if I like this. This is gonna have to do. I would like to formally file a complaint with anyone I can, anyone federal, anyone in a position of power, literally anyone. I would like to file a complaint that I just don't think I'm the person who I look like when I flip this camera back in my face. I don't want to know her. I honestly don't like her. I don't know, there's something about it that is just giving not my favorite. And I've seen myself, all right, I'm gonna shut up about that. Okay. Woo, ready? Break. Okay, hi, welcome back to my YouTube. I guess it's gonna be called Girl Talking in the Mirror to Herself, which is, I don't hate it, But no, until I gotta get more cozy with the camera, or maybe find a camera that I like, or like, I'm testing the waters here. I'm just getting used to what works for me. And I will try to at least keep my eyesight on your eyeballs this time. But anyway, yeah, so if you're seeing this video, that means I've actually posted my last one, which means good job, future Lindsay, because I haven't done it yet. So good job to yourself in the future. Wow, we're very sci-fi right now. No, but seriously, good job to yourself, because I don't know, I feel like I've like almost done YouTube a billion times, and I haven't. But I don't know, I feel the need right now. I just like, I really want to, like I said in another video, I just really, I'm interested in just connecting on a little bit of a deeper level. I'm pretty effing bored of Instagram content. I hate some of the things that I see for views. Anything for me to look at it. And it's like, you know, like really bad acting, or like, I've seen people film the funerals to like show off. Like, there's just so much like that in my soul. I'm like, oh, I don't like it. I just don't. So anyway, but speaking of that, okay, yeah, last weekend I had first of all, I need to take a breath. Hold on, let me take a breath, because I think I'm nervous, because you know why I'm nervous? Because I faced myself with the camera, and now I think I'm Shrek. The way that I looked to my own self was giving Shrek, and I was not okay with it. So hold on, I am not Shrek. I am not Shrek. I am not Shrek. I am not Shrek. It's gotta be camera malfunction. I'm not Shrek for sure. Okay. Anyway, we're back. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you about what I've been up to the last week. I'm gonna tell you about a new revelation in my life, something I think I'm gonna try, and why I'm going to try it. And at the very end of this video, talking in my mirror, I'm gonna give you some of the books I've read this year, my reviews on the books that I've read this year. But if you don't read, don't worry, I'll try to entertain you anyway, or we can get to that part and then you can just cut it out and pretend that I never said anything about a book. I understand why a lot of people don't read, actually, because I used to, like, reading was something that I get a history degree from LSU, and I had to read all the time, and I had to read a lot of boring stuff, and reading was something that I had to do for like work, or like a work type thing in my brain. It wasn't a fun activity. It wasn't a fun, meditative, exciting, adventurous activity. But during COVID, I thought, I was one of those people during COVID, I was like, let's see if I can achieve crazy stuff or like do something different. And so I think I read like 20 books in 2020, and I was waking up at 5 a.m. I was just like challenging myself, which is something that you'll learn is like very consistent with my personality. I'll always do that for the rest of my life. I love a challenge. I love a change. I love to try new stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I love to read now. And sometimes I feel kind of out of place, because I feel like sometimes I feel like I might not be as into some things as other people. I don't feel like alone, but I guess sometimes I think people might perceive sometimes my independence maybe as loneliness, or maybe as like something annoying, not being surrounded by people or enjoying a holiday by myself. But for some reason I love independence, and I really love like time to let my mind wander. I like giving myself time to be bored, and I love hanging out with myself, clearly. No, I'm just kidding. No, but really, like, I feel like, especially in LA, but in life, we're always trying to like jam pack our life with social things and things to do and places to be. And I feel like for some reason it would be a misuse of my mind to totally like fill it with activities and things and nonstop. There's so much genius and creative energy, and like there's so many things that come to you when you're bored or like when you're alone. And I really appreciate time to myself. So I don't know, that was a long-winded way to say that some weekends I'd rather be reading a book than going to a bar. It's true. And I believe that books and writing, I do think they have some kind of magical property, where I feel like sometimes you get the book that you need when you need it, or you come across something when you've got to see it. One time I had to make a really, really scary decision, and I was freaking out. I started running a fever. My whole body was just like so scared, because I was making a very scary decision. And the book I was reading, that night I picked it up, and it happened to be a chapter on fear. And the author's perspective was, instead of fear being a stop sign, what if you looked at fear like a green light? And I was just like, that's a gift from beyond. That is what are the chances that I had been reading this book and I read that one tonight while my fever's running and I'm freaking out about this decision. So I believe books are magic, and I think that they have like magical properties. So I hope that you don't think that I am Looney Tunes, but I'm telling you, I'm onto something. So like, trust me a little bit, just trust me a little bit. But also, like, if you don't want to read, don't effing read at all. Who cares? Audiobooks are pretty cool too. I just like listened to an audiobook last weekend. Okay, so let me get back to last weekend. I had a very stressful few weeks. Everything, oh, my girlfriend's calling. This is my friend Laj. She says hi even though she doesn't know she's on a, I don't want to open her up just to cut her off. Okay, had a few stressful weeks, okay? Stressful in every way possible. Tosh had a major eye surgery, so Tosh, his other eye's gone, which is soul crushing. Just seeing him in pain and annoyed and stressed out, it just adds another layer of stress to like a doggy parent. So I've had to deal with that. I had a flat tire. I got 2 parking tickets. I had a very stressful, annoying work thing that got misunderstood, and there was just a lot of like, everything was so stressful, and I was like, I think I need to just get the F out of here, out of town. And so I drove to the desert by myself, and I rented like this gorgeous little Airbnb, and I was like, I think I'm gonna start writing my book now. I have a book that has been in my mind for over maybe a year or 2. And I worked on it a little bit. I'd done the plot outlines and chapter outlines, and then I was like, well, why don't I go do the thing that I think I want to do? Why don't I go do it? Because I don't like to be the person that like says they're going to do something and doesn't do it. Like, in my life, why not now? On the worst week of your life, or one of the worst 2 weeks of your life, why don't you just go and do the thing that you think you want to do? So anyway, I went out there with Tosh, who was sitting back there. And I went out there and I started writing. And the first night I got through like a lot of content for the book. And the second day I was like, you know, I want to write something that like pulls at my own heartstrings. I want to feel, and I just want to write kind of freestyle and what comes to mind. And I wrote this 10-page creative nonfiction piece about the tangled webs I weave to get in the desert, and I titled it The Gift of Disappointment. And it was something good. It was something I started and finished, and I don't know if I'm going to post it anywhere. I don't know if it'll be published one day or go somewhere, but it's something that I made. It's talking about a little art piece, and it felt amazing. And I like cried. I cried so many times, and I wasn't just crying about a person or a thing or an event. I was just crying, reflecting about my entire life. I was crying because I thought it was so beautiful. I was crying because I thought it was so challenging. It was the craziest cathartic experience, the most cathartic experience I've ever done for myself. And what really blew me away, and I thought was so beautiful and crazy, was that I just had an intuition to do it by myself. It came to me in a feeling and a whatever, and I just followed that feeling. And I'm really like in a phase right now where I want to follow my feelings. I want to listen to my dreams. I want to do things that don't make sense. I want to try things that are creative. And so I've been taking an art class actually to kind of wanted to get that like wet my whistle artistically there. And so I've been taking the art class. I started writing, and yeah, I realized that artists are just people who have given themselves a permission slip to make whatever they want and define whoever they want. And I feel like art is really a co-creation of humanity, and art comes in many ways. There's art, business is an art in so many ways, and I feel like, you know, fashion is an art, and the way we present ourselves is an art. Editing for the internet is digital art, and everything we post. But that's why I hate the phony art that is like, I hate the anything for a click. I hate that that's kind of what the internet has become, or not the internet in total, but like social media has just kind of become that, like anything for eyes, who cares how. And I don't know. I don't know. I like something with meaning, and this is coming from someone who just posted hot pics of themselves because they, I don't know. It's not like I've been posting anything profound is what I'm trying to say. But I think that's why I'm trying to wet my whistle. I should stop saying wet my whistle, because like that sounds a little pervy. Wet my whistle. Also, it sounds like something a dad would say, like, I gotta wet my whistle. Like, ew, ew, now I'm grossing myself out because I thought about like someone's father's name. Okay, that took a turn in my brain. Okay, sorry about that, but I won't say wet my whistle again. I just did it again. The point is, I had a beautiful time in the desert and I started writing, and it was so fun. And my art class is fun, and I think now I'm gonna take up, I'd like to learn, this is gonna sound crazy, and I'm gonna come back to it later in this video, but I'd kind of like to learn how to play the guitar. I know that sounds crazy. I know, I don't know why it sounds crazy. I think, you know what? It doesn't sound crazy. You know what sounds crazy? Not playing the guitar. That's what sounds crazy. What sounds crazy is being only early 30s and thinking I can't do something when I'm like probably a third of the way through my life. Like, and I think I can't pick up a new habit. I'm a baby in this. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy actually that we think that we ever get to a point where it's like we stop learning, we stop exploring, we stop trying, or that we should have it all, who we are, all figured out. F that. If I said anything in this video, F that. That is so, the good news is I've never believed in that. I've always believed like do whatever you want, and I'm a lifelong learner and a student in the world, but you know what? It, like having the audacity to be like, yeah, I want to learn an instrument today just because I can and I'm alive and I'm breathing. Like, that is me. I love that, and I want to keep that, and I hope that everyone like has a little bit of that in their heart, because you like we give ourselves a permission slip to try new things and to be whoever we want. So anyway, but yeah, speaking of, so I was writing, and I write poems, and sometimes I write poems that sound like songs, and I've had kind of what sound like songs in my dreams. I like coming up with songs lately, and that sounds crazy, but it's true. And so if I have an intuition, I like to follow it. And so anyway, this past Sunday, I actually had a friend come over, and he had a guitar, and we wrote a song, and we wrote a country song, and like, I was so nervous. I'd never done anything like that. I never tried to sing seriously or like write off the top of my head with someone seriously. And I have so much to learn and like do and think about, but I will say, it was a blast. It was like such a fun way for me to spend my time. Like, just like thinking of, just like being creative in the moment and like exercising my mind. I love doing that for hours. But there was one pass through of the song where we had like done 2 verses, and we added this beautiful pre-chorus, but I couldn't figure out the words to go there before the chorus. And when he played the guitar, there was one read through where I just said things that came out of nowhere, like unconsciously, and the cadence was kind of perfectly timed, and then I hit the pitch of the chorus. So there was just one run through though, and it sounded like a song. And it was like such like, oh my God, like we can make a song? Like, that's crazy. So anyway, I'm having a blast. I'm learning new stuff. I'm taking painting classes. I'm interested in learning an instrument, which will be my next endeavor. So this is why, this is what I was bringing. This is the second half of the video. The first half of the video, first third was like what I've been up to. So we're checked on there. This chunk is what I'm gonna do in my life now that I've decided, okay? This is kind of radical, but I just think like I want to pause on dating. No, like I kind of want to pause on dating, and I'll tell you why. Number one, I don't want to get jaded and all these people around are crazy. No, I'm just kidding. Number one, but honestly, my experience is, it's just getting so annoying. I'm so tired of, I'm just really not impressed kind of with some of my experiences lately. I'll tell you the truth. I just feel like it starts, someone is great, and then I hate manipulative people. I find a lot of manipulative people, and as you know, I'm well, as you probably know by now, I'm a nerd. So like, I've read Attached, and I've read books on narcissists, and I've read stuff like this, but beyond that, I have experiential wisdom. So I've learned, I'm very well versed in triangulations, projection, mirroring, cognitive dissonance, and grand gestures, and love bombing. And I actually come up with my own information that's beyond what psychologists have come up with, because I have such good experiential wisdom that I swear to God, I've learned clues that go beyond the books. I've learned clues because I've been paying really hard attention, and I know I love to learn. So like, every time I even, as hard and like, you know, I'm doing the relationships like thoughtfully, and I'm really putting myself out there, but I'm paying deep attention, and I'm paying attention to like, and I have a really good handle on my gut right now. So I feel like when something's off, my brain is triggered, and we're like, let's clue that. Let's think what that could, like, and I've gotten so good and sharp about it. And I'm not going to be in a relationship for like a year or two with the problems that I found out on day 7. I can tell that I sniffed the problem on day 7. I don't need 365 days for me to know that you're an a-hole. I can figure it out kind of quicker, way quicker than your ex. Like, and it sucks. I feel like guys, they look at me and they think I'm gonna be like their ex-girlfriend who might have been a model or might have been someone who's whatever, stereotypically whatever. But I don't think like them all the time. Or like, I don't know. I just feel like I've really done a lot of homework. I've done a lot of therapy. I read a lot of books. I'm very aware. So I'm just not the girl that you're gonna, at this point in my life, I certainly was, but I'm not the girl that you're gonna trick into lowering my own self-esteem or like lowering my self-worth or like recognizing patterns that don't make sense. I'm not gonna lie to my brain. I know when things don't make sense. And it just sucks because I would be more interested to meet someone who didn't need to do all that stuff. It's the same song and dance every time. And people only manipulate when they think that if you really knew who they were, you wouldn't find them valuable or special. And it sucks because all the people that have done that to me were plenty valuable and special. They had plenty of gifts and talents and humor and great things. And it's just like, why do we have to pick on me? I don't know. But the point is, this is not to be like sad or miserable. I'm kind of refreshed and feel like, I just feel like, look, say you're dating someone and there's a few things that are stressful. One, like you gotta go on dates or whatever. Picking out the outfit, going out on a date. So say you go on a date or 2 a week, that's 2 hours, no big deal. But also that might affect your sleep, right? Because if you're going out at 8 o'clock, you're probably not gonna get in bed till 11. What if I wanted to be in bed at 10, okay? I miss the freedom of going to bed whenever the F I want. I love that freedom. Number 2, Tosh, what is number 2? He's asleep. What is number 2? Well, pretty much, I like calls in the middle of the day kind of annoy me. Because if you're like in a workflow, especially if you're doing something creative, if you're calling me in the middle of the day, you're gonna throw that off. Oh, number 3, like the schedule freedom. I like that like 2 days from now or right now, I could go to Alabama if I felt like it. Why Alabama? I don't know, but like I could go anywhere I want right this second and I don't have to clock in with anyone. And I'm not like, no one's hanging on to my schedule and I'm not hanging on to theirs. That is a very nice, interesting feeling. But I'm not gonna waste it. If I'm not gonna date, I'm actually gonna do those things. And like, maybe I'll take you with me. But just like going to the desert, I feel like maybe with a little bit of total freedom, I might feel free to be more adventurous. Because that's the problem with me. Like when I date, I'm displaying that I'm a considerate person, and that's important to an intimate partnership. And I don't do half consideration. For me, consideration is full speed or no. And I feel like a lot of modern dating is people considering in the middle, but you won't build a beautiful, deep, thoughtful, romantic partnership within the middle. You're gonna get middle results with middle people, with middle effort if you do that. So I'm like, so my consideration's here. If I'm dating you, it's there. And I'm telling you, like, you would never believe this, but like even years ago, I was dating this guy for 2 weeks and I got invited to my dream celebrities vacation. Someone was like, he wants you to come out here, and be on a date. And like, this is my dream guy. And I was young and I didn't care. I so would have gone on this trip. But I had been dating this guy for 2 weeks and my consideration was on. Absolutely not. I'm already dating someone. There's no, loyalty isn't a challenge for me. Also, I feel like a lot of people are dating and loyalty is a challenge for them, and I just don't understand. I do not understand the need to pursue romantic love and partnership if loyalty is such a challenge. I think go work on the reasons why that. Why would you're gonna make something that fails. I don't understand building something that will absolutely fail because you have not mastered things like loyalty or discipline. Those are, morals that people have. I don't know, some people think that they're like intrinsic or people were born with them. I haven't done enough homework, but I have done some reading on it. But some people think that people are intrinsically moral. Other people think it could be like a learned thing. But either way, if you struggle with loyalty, like fix that. Or say, I don't want a relationship. There's just so much like trickery and confusion. I hate all of that. I'm just very much like a direct, like what you see with me is what you get. So I don't like, it's crazy to me to think people even could manipulate, like have the time to think about that. To me, that is wild. But like, that is so crazy, but it's okay. We'll pray for them. Absolute losers, but we're gonna pray for them. But we're gonna pray for them. Those pathetic mother. And fourthly, but here's my other, like, I think we're on 3 or 4, but like 4 is the text exchanging all the time. I do not like the chemical dependency that is created when in modern dating with the texting, because you get used to someone texting you throughout the day. They become like a dopamine hit for you. You sharing their name in public or talking about them becomes spikes of your dopamine. And it's really like, you should really read the book Attached, because it explains kind of these effects on the body that physiological bonds have. So when we get attached to other people or we create these bonds, they can really affect things like our heart rates and our sleep patterns and our health, and yeah, the hormones and some functions of our brain. That's huge! Being a part of the function of my brain, and then thinking about all like the bad people who are manipulating me on top of the fact that they're involved in the function of my brain. No, like that, I'm tired of it. But the texting stuff, like, I got cut off. But yeah, but like getting used to someone texting you in the morning or noon and night or whenever they text you, or like, you gotta, when they decide to FaceTime you, you gotta be available. I just don't like, once again, it's just like, it kind of inhibits my own mental freedom. And when my consideration, like, I'm very, a lot of gesture happening. But when my consideration is turned on, I'm gonna make it a point to answer the call. I'm gonna make it a point to be available, because I'm trying to display why I'd be a fantastic intimate partner. So it's important that I do that, but God, I'm tired of trying, because I keep doing it for other people who are back to they need to go do other things besides pursue romantic relations. They need to pursue some mental health stuff. But anyway, yeah, I get tired. Like, I just hate the idea of like that someone can affect me, my mind and body and time so much, even before we have a serious commitment. So like dating, really, even just dating and just giving someone a shot, to me is just such a serious commitment on the mind. And after a while of trying that and realizing how much I lose in my own life, my own mental freedom and my own do whatever I want, I'm just like really rethinking, because my consideration is all or nothing. So I don't want to change that about me as a person. I always want to be the person that does every job the best I can do it. That is a staple in my personality and my life. And I'm not gonna, and I don't want to become a person who, I dated a guy and it was a situation like that where I half-weighed it, and I thought that it was a bad thing to train myself to be like. I don't want to be that person. I want to be deeply in love with someone and deeply committed, but it really only works if the other person's doing it back. And that's a very hard thing to find these days, because people are doing the halfway. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm good on that. And finally, the last reason why I think I'm going to stop dating for a little while is because I can learn to play the guitar. All the time and hours and thinking or whatever of the stuff that's annoying with dating, I can just try to play the guitar or like do other things I want to learn, finish the book that I'm working on, or I've actually been trying to bring the podcast back. I have like one last technical difficulty, but yeah, there's just like other things that I want to do. And like, I think I'm really going to take the sacrifice of not pursuing love, because sometimes you got to take something from yourself to really like prove to yourself that you're serious. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you make financial investments, it like, if you pay for training, you're going to go to training because you made that financial investment, and you're kind of like loss, I think it's called loss aversion. But this is kind of its own form of loss. Is it loss aversion? Yeah, I think it's called loss aversion. But wow, the way that I spend it, okay. But seriously, like, since in one way I'll be losing like the pursuit of something that I really care about, I'm going to really like put forth my effort into nurturing my life and like adding new things to it. And so I don't know, I think like taking something away from me means like, oh yeah, you're not going to date boys? Okay, well you better be doing some other stuff. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. Very long-winded. I don't know if you guys stuck around for all that, but we appreciate it. Let's get to the books that are my favorite. Not my favorite. These are just things that I've read this year. These are just a few. I have some in progress. I'll tell you a little bit about them, but some of the books that I read this year that I liked. All of them, I liked them all. Okay, I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Like, I don't know if this is a guy book. In fact, I don't imagine a guy's gonna love this book as much, but unless he's just like if he's a romantic, I don't know. Actually, I just don't know if this is like kind of marketed toward dudes. But if you're a girl reading this, Highly recommend. It's such a good book, or anyone who's a romantic, but I think this book, I really enjoyed this book. It kind of brought your brain back to like old Hollywood, like kind of Marilyn Monroe days, who's over on my wall right there. But it kind of brought me back. Actually, a few of people from this time frame are on the wall over there, but it kind of brings you back to like old Hollywood. So beside it, it's a beautiful love story and it's interestingly written, but I really like that it brought your mind back to this amazing time. And I actually found it pretty insightful to how PR used to work back in old Hollywood days. It was great. Speaking of Hollywood, okay, and boys would love this one too. This is like a boy-friendly and girl-friendly book, but this one is Dirty Rocker Boys. It's a book by Bobby Brown, who also was a hot model from Louisiana. I didn't just call myself hot, did I? But she was the girl from the Cherry Pie video. She was actually engaged to Tommy Lee when he met Pamela Anderson. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. But she was this model back in those like rock and roll 90s days. And I thought her perspective was really interesting. She talks about so many stars from back then. And just like that other book about Hollywood, this was really like kind of a Hollywood in the 90s from like this like rock and roll view. And I found it very interesting. Yeah, it was very interesting. And it's a fast read. But guys will love this book. Girls will love this book. It really brings you back to that time. It's fast. It's really entertaining. Highly recommend. Okay. The It Girl by Ruth Ware. This was kind of like a scary thriller-y type of book. I actually loved it. It ended up being a quicker read once you get like kind of into it. I don't know if guys are gonna love this book because it's from a woman's perspective. It's kind of like a girl and she's in college and then she's out of college, but then there's like drama back in college and it goes back and forth and like to today. That's a long story, but I think I need to know from you, are guys watching this into thriller-y type books, or like what kind of books are the boys reading? And not that this isn't a boy book, I just like, I don't really know. I got this book from my guy friend. He reads a lot, but I feel like I just don't know if he would love this book. And maybe I only have like one guy friend. No, whatever. The jury's out. I don't know, why am I making this so hard for myself? Okay, Community Board. This is a cute book about I loved about this book. This book's called Community Board. It's about this, there's a girl who's going through it in life and she goes back to like her small hometown that she hated, and she kind of uncovers its unique charm and quirkiness, and it's lighthearted and funny. But you know what I loved about this book? It wasn't about murder, sex, love, really, or anything naughty. I kind of really just liked reading something that was almost just so G-rated and warm and light. I feel like so much of our media is hardcore, so intense and too much, and I liked escaping into some lightheartedness. So I think that was really fun about this book. It's nice. It was like, I was like, God, I feel so just like pure. It's just nice. It's so rare to read a book that isn't using those other big grabs, This was about community and funny webs and the love of strangers and interesting life happenings. But I liked it. Funny, gentle, easy, lighthearted. The 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak. I hope I'm saying that right. I actually read The Isle of Missing Trees by her. And so this book is I actually got this when I was in Istanbul from a bookstore owner. And he was telling me, he's like, if you want to understand Turkey and Turkish culture, this is a must read. And I read the whole thing on the whole book on the way home. And I thought it was beautiful. It's about love and about partnerships and about the way that they last and the way that they might not, but the way I would describe this as more of like a deep, I actually thought it was similar to the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. The 5 a.m. Club is this book that I thought was going to be all about just being an ambitious person, waking up at 5 a.m. But the book was actually a little bit more magical, and it was about uncovering human genius. And it was somewhat about waking up in the morning and owning your mornings and waking up at 5. But I found the book to be way, way more of a beautiful story about genius and love and purpose for a human. But this one reminded me of that book. So I thought if you like the 5 a.m. Club, because the 5 a.m. Club was something I thought was totally unexpected how it read. And this reminded me a lot of that. So interesting. But I read the whole thing on the plane, so I must have loved it. Okay, and this one, I just read this last week when I went to the desert. I'd already read some of it, so then I audiobooked some of it, and I loved the audiobook because Elizabeth Gilbert is so, she just, I don't know how to explain it, but she's magical. And I really enjoyed hearing her talk about, I really enjoyed her reading this. So she wrote the book Eat, Pray, Love, and this was such an important book. It was about creative living beyond fear. It's pretty much, it's a book really that's giving you a permission slip to live a creative life. And she explains ways to do that, and she explains ways that you should view your own creativity and things you can expect from fear and how to overcome your own fear. And really she had such great insight to what she believes is magic in creativity, and she has these really impressive firsthand accounts of ways she thought, the way she believed ideas flowed to humanity, and what the value of those ideas are in humanity. This might sound kind of off. I don't know how to explain this because it is about magic, which creativity is human magic, you know what I mean? But loved this book. This book, it's gonna change the way I live forever. This was a big one, especially if you do anything creative, even if you're creative in business, even if you live a creative life at home. I really love, even if you don't live a creative life, but maybe you should. I feel like when humans are vibrating at their highest, they lean toward creation. It's like, I don't know, contentment, and then it's almost creation in my brain. So I don't know, I loved it. I'm really nerding out here. I hope you guys don't mind. But then, so right now, I'm still trying to finish this book that I've been trying to read for 5 years. It's called Subliminal: How the Unconscious Mind Rules Your Conscious Behavior. Fascinating, changed the way I thought about life forever, because it really changed the way I thought about my own decision making and things in my brain. Filled with the most intriguing, interesting studies on the planet. The juice in this book is so fascinating. I don't even know where to begin, but I mean, definitely, I love this book. Is so interesting. I'm definitely gonna finish it soon. And then I'm reading, this is definitely, I think, more of a boy's favorite. It's called The Wager. It's about, well, as the cover suggests, it has to do with shipwreck, mutiny, and murder. But I will say, I started reading this, where am I? I'm about 30 pages in. But it's like, it was a harder read vocabulary-wise, because there's a lot of military terms, there's a lot of history terms, and there's a lot of like weird names on top of it. So why is my Siri listening to me? She just said one moment. I didn't even tell her to do anything. My phone on its own just pulled up something from the Beatles. Let's read the lyrics. Sometimes when stuff like that happens, I think it's like a sign. Why did it do that? Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other. Something in the way she woos. I don't want to leave her now. I believe in how. Somewhere in her smile she knows that I don't need no other lover. Something in her style that shows me I don't want to leave her now. You know I believe in how. You're asking me what my logo. Something in the way she knows. Interesting. That's a pretty poetic love song. That is so interesting, and I don't own that song. And I don't even know where it pulled that up. Oh, that's sweet. Maybe it's a lover from another time frame somewhere. I like that. I love like a little spiritual situation. Anyway, back to The Wager. The Wager is a good book. It's definitely boys, probably. But what I was saying was the vocabulary is pretty tough and intense. The names are hard, the military terms are hard, and then it's just, I found it more of a challenge to like, I got unfocused because it was so challenging to read. So then I started reading it out loud, and then it got way easy. It was like clear. I was picturing this, everything kind of flowed smoother, and I thought it was a good opportunity to practice my own speech. So I was like, I'll just read it out loud. Okay, so yeah, anyway, I hope that this hasn't totally weirded you out, but Lindsay's book review of, what year are we? 2023 somewhere. There's more that I'm reading. I have a bunch picked up that I like to have chunks written down, and hopefully on like a long weekend one day I'm just gonna read through all of them, and like I'll come back and report later how they were. But yeah, some of the things that I read this year. So yeah, to recap, I had a great weekend in the desert. I started writing and doing creative things. I decided I'm probably not gonna date for a while, which I think is fun because it's gonna be like more time for you. And then we covered some books. Let me know anything else you want to see from me. I hope this wasn't too boring or long-winded. Bye!